Hey everyone, I'm Jake. Welcome to our channel. And the information in today's video is in fact gonna become food for thought for all of you who are watching this video right now and planning to immigrate to Canada. The question is why immigrating to smaller cities is a better choice in the year 2020 for all new immigrants. And in this video, I'm going to provide you statistical data about the unemployment rate, how the unemployment rate has fallen down in these smaller cities in comparison to bigger cities like Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Montreal. I'm also going to provide you the list of top 10 smaller cities in which you can happily move, find job and live happily by creating a proper life and work balance. So before we move ahead with this video, a quick message to all of you skilled immigrants that skills are the only way that you can survive and succeed in Canada. On that note, I want to quickly inform you guys that this video is sponsored by Skillshare, an incredibly vast online learning platform where you can find video tutorials from tutors all around the world sharing their knowledge and experience in the fields of IT, software and data analyst, business analyst, interior designing, web designing. In fact, I have been using Skillshare personally for the last 1 year and I have significantly improved the quality of my work. In fact, as a YouTuber, for me, any new piece of information is like gold because I firmly believe in daily improvement in my work. Recently, I saw this tutorial on how to succeed on YouTube. So all of you who are planning to even become YouTuber, for you, this piece of information can be highly relevant. And this video significantly improved my work and helped me become better at my job. And the best part about being the subscriber of my channel and the viewers of my video is that I'm providing you with a discount coupon code, which is there in the description. You can go and click on the link for Skillshare. You're gonna get 2 months of free subscription. Just try it out. So make sure you check out Skillshare. Alright guys, now before I share the information and the statistical data about these smaller cities, how they are better in comparison now to bigger cities in the year 2020, let me first share my personal experience. I've been living in Toronto for last 1 year, and just like all of you guys, when I decided to move to Canada, my first thought process was that I immediately need to find a job because otherwise I will be eating into my settlement funds to pay all the bills. What if I don't get the job on time? My funds will be over. This is the first thought that comes to all of our minds when we plan to move to Canada, and exactly that's what I did. I moved to Toronto. And obviously, we think that okay, we will live in a basement, at least we can find a basement for $1,200 and we can continue with that. That's exactly what I did. Even though I found a job within the first 30 days of moving here, and even my wife Demi, we both found a job. First thing I want to tell you guys that to survive in Toronto, you need at least 2 salaries. On one salary, it's extremely expensive to live in this city. So anyways, coming back to the basement, so we decided to stay in a basement. In 5 months, I left this basement. In fact, I made a video about it. You can check it in the iCard here. Yes, we all think that, oh, I can survive in a basement. But what happens after 5 months, apart from the regular depression that you go through in that little sinkhole, mentally you get this question and you ask yourself that, is it why I came to Canada to live the rest of my life in a basement? Why? Because I can't afford to live in an apartment. Why? Because apartments and condo in Toronto city are ridiculously expensive. Luckily, I got my full-time job and I got promoted, and me and my wife both were able to manage to move to a condo. Even the condo that we are living in right now, the monthly rental is $1,800 per month. In addition to that, we pay our electricity bill also. Transportation cost is extremely expensive. A monthly pass here for a TTC costs somewhere around the north of $150. Now, I am saying this from the perspective of two people. If you have a child, then it all becomes more expensive. Or if you are just a single person, then anyways your salary is too low to survive in this city. Live in a condo or an apartment, you will end up spending your entire time in the basement. Now, all these expenses together create a massive life and work balance. What happens basically, you start budgeting your life completely every month, and you stop doing all kind of fun and leisure activities, because even if you want to go and see an aquarium, the cost is quite significant. I mean, $35 to $40 and per person you spend, and then traveling and all those keep adding up to the monthly expenses. So you start cutting down on your leisure activities and create a massive imbalance between life and work. Then time management is so difficult, especially in Toronto. If you have to use public transport going from home to office, takes at least 1 hour, and then coming back takes 1 hour. And during rush hour, now in a city like Toronto, you will not even find a seat in either subway or in the bus. And even sometimes you have to wait for the next bus because there's not even space to stand in the bus. So it is even getting extremely crowded. Like, first thought when I think about moving to Canada, I used to think that it's a very big country, less population, so there it will not be very crowded. But honestly, now these bigger cities have become extremely crowded. So at the end of the day, now your life is all about getting up in the morning, going to the work, coming back, sleeping, getting up again, and that's it. And then you're paying bills from the salary that you're making. Now, these are some day-to-day life facts about living in a bigger city like Toronto. In addition to that, there are some statistics, like economical statistics about Toronto, which I found out, which are quite shocking. Toronto is Canada's working age poverty capital, meaning that it has Canada's highest poverty rate for adults who are of working age and those who are not retired. New immigrants in Toronto today are earning much lesser than the immigrants who came at the time of 1980s. These days there is massive income inequality in Toronto. In fact, to get a raise after 1 year is also so difficult in Toronto, and that's why it becomes very difficult to survive in this city, because as a new immigrant, you don't get any benefit in terms of lesser rentals or anything. You're still paying rent just like anyone else. Over 500,000 people in Toronto live in poverty. As I shared with you already, that in Toronto, we pay more of our income in rentals than other parts of Canada. Furthermore, in Toronto, we make $4,507 lesser than in other parts of Canada. As far as I'm concerned, now after 1 year, me and Demi are seriously thinking of moving to a smaller region like St. Catherine or Niagara, where house rentals are much lesser than compared to Toronto. At the same time, even the quality of life is better. Those places are less crowded. You get more space for yourself, and there is more peace and calm. Additionally, they are smaller regions, so traveling time from home to work to home is much lesser, so you get more time to enjoy life as well. Alright guys, so now that was my experience of 1 year in Toronto and some basic statistics about the people living in poverty in bigger cities like Toronto. Let's now talk about the smaller cities and why they could be a better choice for a lot of you. And of course, so many people are not getting selected in Express Entry. They should seriously think about these PNP programs and moving to these smaller cities. So now I'm going to provide you the list of those top 10 cities which you can think about moving to, because these cities are generating better quality employment for new immigrants. Their unemployment rates are going down. Housing is cheaper, quality of life is better. So starting with the number one, and that is Guelph in Ontario. Almost 1 year ago, the rating of Guelph in terms of employment was at 21, and today it's at number 1. So it has made a massive jump in terms of generating employment. And right now, the rate of jobless people in this city is merely 2.3%. The major area of employment in the city of Guelph is in the manufacturing sector. This city has seen a rise of manufacturing sector, and also the influx of a lot of people, in fact, from Toronto who can't afford housing in Toronto have now started moving to Guelph in Ontario. A lot of new manufacturing businesses have started, and that has given the jump to the economy of this little city in Ontario. And now the unemployment rate stands at only 2.3%. That is by far the lowest in entire Canada. At number 2, we have Saskatoon, which is in Saskatchewan. The unemployment rate right now is 5.6%, and this city has seen the increase in job rate of 5.4% year after year. Saskatoon's economy has also suffered in the past because of relying on the oil and gas sector, but now the Saskatoon's manufacturing sector has again become bigger and saved the economy and is creating more jobs for new immigrants as well as people who are already living in that city. In addition to that, there has been more growth of population in this city due to Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program as well. I've made a video, you can check on the iCard here. So that has resulted in total 5.4% increase in employment in just last 1 year. Alright guys, moving on to the third city, and that is Kelowna in British Columbia. The unemployment rate right now is merely 3.3%, and in the last 1 year, Kelowna has seen a massive increase in employment. Just like other southern cities of Ontario, Kelowna's economy has also been booming primarily because of the tech sector. It has in fact seen an average increase per year by 15%. Alright guys, so next on the list at number 4 is Kitchener-Waterloo in Ontario. The unemployment rate here is again 5.1%, which is lesser than Toronto. Now Kitchener and Waterloo has been one of Ontario's biggest tech hubs in the past couple of years, but of late, the lot of rich Torontonians have been moving to Kitchener and Waterloo areas to set up their own business, like opening up new shops. So the retail sector has also started increasing rapidly in this little city. At number 5, we have Halifax in Nova Scotia. The current unemployment rate is 5.7%. Now, one of the main reasons for the boost in economy of Halifax is getting the new shipbuilding contracts from the Canadian Navy, which has generated a lot of jobs for new people. In addition to that, it is also becoming a tech hub and also a big center for new startups. A lot of immigrants and entrepreneurs are getting attracted to Halifax due to the low housing costs and at the same time, being access to water, access to seaport, and also lesser traffic. At number 6, we have Abbotsford in British Columbia. The unemployment rate is again much lesser than Toronto. It is 4.5%. This city has also experienced a year-over-year job growth by 4.3%. I mean, 1 year ago it was at number 17 in the list, and now it is at number 6. So that says a lot about the increase in jobs in the city. Now, the primary industry, which I would say is good for people who are in the field of media, because it has the major hubs for TV and film production houses. In addition to that, there is a big industry for lumber, that is all kind of woodworks, and even aerospace industry is quite good in this city. Furthermore, the city is also benefiting a lot from the housing boom, which means people in construction can also find the required jobs in Abbotsford in British Columbia. At number 7, we have Peterborough in Ontario. The unemployment rate is 5.2%, and even Peterborough has seen a year-by-year growth in the job rate by 7.8%. In Peterborough, the major industry which are generating employment are basically health sector, education sector, and even tourism sector is booming in Peterborough. At number 8, we have Edmonton in Alberta. The unemployment rate in comparison to other smaller cities is higher. It is 6.3%. Now, for people who want to move to Alberta and they always choose Calgary, in the last couple of years, Edmonton has performed better than Calgary in terms of creating new jobs, because it has stopped relying primarily on oil and natural gas. In Edmonton now, other sectors like healthcare sector, education, public administrations are picking up more and creating new jobs for people. Edmonton has experienced year-over-year growth of almost 3.6% recently. At number 9, we have OSHAWA in Ontario. The unemployment rate is 5.8%. Even though the unemployment rate in Oshawa is 0.2% more than Toronto, but again, the housing or the rentals, all those day-to-day living expenses are lesser than in Toronto. So primarily the industries are again education institutions and health sector, home construction industries. So all these industries are generating employment in Oshawa as well. One good thing about the statistics of Oshawa is that it has seen a year-over-year job growth rate of 4.9%, which is quite significant. So Oshawa is definitely on if you want to move to Ontario. Last but not the least, at number 10, we have London in Ontario. The unemployment rate is only 5%. In comparison to Toronto, is much better. London is also now moving from being a manufacturing hub to being a high-tech economy. So even tech sector is improving in London. At the same time, the housing construction industry is on a boom because of sudden population growth or movement of new people to the city of London. In addition to that, other industries like auto industries or the automobile plants, auto repair, these industries are also generating a lot of employment in London, Ontario. In addition to the list of these top 10, I am going to give you some more cities, especially in Ontario, where you can really consider moving, then moving to Toronto. Hamilton in Ontario, the unemployment rate is only 4.5%. St. Catherine, Niagara, 4.8%. That's where I am planning to move to, in either St. Catherine or the Niagara region. Then Brantford in Ontario, unemployment rate 3.8%. Thunder Bay in Ontario, 5%. I think for Thunder Bay, they have the rural northern immigration pilot program on, so check that out. Alright guys, so that was the list of those smaller cities which have lesser unemployment rate, better quality of life, cheaper rentals and much better work-life balance for new immigrants. Now this, why I called it food for thought, is that since now you're in the stage of planning to immigrate to Canada, do your research on these cities and accordingly save your settlement fund, that even if you get little delayed in finding job, in the long run you are going to have a much better and happier life in these cities. And that I'm telling you from my personal experience of living in Toronto for 1 year, because I'm also planning to move out, and I'm really excited about that move, because I know I need a very well balanced life for myself and my wife, and that's exactly, I'm sure, even you guys want for your families. So make sure you consider what I've told you in this video. Use this information for your benefit. I'm gonna see you next time in another video. Bye.